Special assignment investigation. I honestly do not have the words to describe what you are about to see, but you may find it hard to watch. In fact, we recommend that your children do not see this. Mark Allen live in our newsroom with this exclusive. Mark.
Molly, thank you. It may not look like it now, but I'm standing here in a part of the Channel 2 newsroom that many years ago, believe it or not, was a wrestling ring. Back in the 1950s, the floor here was all dirt, and die-hard fans packed the seats that once stood here on Saturday nights to see grown-up men and women wrestle. But today, teenagers are fighting in their own backyards in what are makeshift rings, and I found some Butler County kids whose extreme wrestling some may label hardcore harm.
It's Friday night. From the outside, Spears Gym in downtown Mount Healthy looks quiet. But inside, it's a whole different story. Welcome to Powerhouse Championship Wrestling. Raw and Nitro have nothing on these teenagers.
You're getting bashed with chairs, getting thrown out of this ring, getting flipped around the ring, and I guess you can't appreciate it unless you're in there doing it.
18-year-old Jason Duggins from Hamilton is a 185-pound high school junior and ringleader of PCW. As Ryan Storm, he holds the championship belt. And tonight, he defends it against another teen who was Ryan's tag team partner.
I broke some fingers, and I've had a concussion. Slipped a couple discs in my back before.
Ryan calls those injuries minor, less serious than ones he suffered playing football. But that doesn't make his friend Katie feel any better about his matchup.
We talk about our other friends that are wrestling, about how the hurt they get and how violent it is.
Katie is just one of many teenage girls here tonight. Some cheer the wrestlers, some even go into the ring. This 19-year-old girl, here for the first time, is managing Christopher Lotus, also known as the Beer Man. Tonight, the Beer Man takes a beating, literally. There's a chair shot from an opposing wrestler named Sick. Then, Beer Man goes over the top rope to the floor. There, teenage fans who surround the ring flog him repeatedly with belts. In the end, Beer Man wins his match, but his 19-year-old body tells a different story. Friends drag him from ringside to the locker room.
We need water!
Water revives Beer Man.
Attention, look, give it off of this man right here, right now.
And minutes later, he proudly shows off his battle-scarred back to the same fans who strapped him during the match.
If you want a good view at this, that's my whole back for you. I don't really say I like the pain to be some crazy psychopath, but, you know, I just enjoy doing it. I don't care what it takes.
This 16-year-old named Shade just got slammed into a bin of light bulbs and thumbtacks. Katie and her friends find this hard to watch. But seconds later, Shade got revenge. Despite the blood running down his forehead, he doesn't hesitate to bash his opponent in the head with a light bulb. Then drive him neck first into the tacks and glass. The fans love it. Shade wins and leaves his opponent beaten and bloody on the mat. Afterwards, Shade proudly shows off his face, scalp, and arms. He calls the cuts and scrapes an investment in his future as a pro wrestler.
You know, wrestlers do get paid a lot of money. I wouldn't mind being paid that much. And I have no problem bleeding.
And it gives us something to do that doesn't involve, like, crime and something. You know, it's something to do on Friday nights where you're not going to be getting in trouble.
I'm here to put on a good show, and if I shed a little blood, I shed a little blood. People are going to go home happy, and I'm going to go home happy because I did my job and I entertained these people.
But despite the chair shots, the strappings, the body slams that you saw into the broken glass and the tacks and the barbed wire, Jason and his friends claim they have never been seriously injured. But two Dayton doctors we talked to are very concerned that these kids and the fans who emulate them could be harmed if they go to the extreme in their own backyard rings.
You have the potential for, you know, although very rare, for catastrophic neck and back injuries, as well as just simple sprains and strains of their bones and joints.
So far, doctors at Children's Medical Center haven't seen any injuries caused by backyard wrestling, but they warn parents to control their sons and daughters.
kids, particularly as the kids get a little bit older, they think they're invincible, and we really find out as we mature and become adults that these type of things, that you're not really invincible, and that you have to, be careful. And
I think there's a wide attraction both for boys and for girls.
Dr. Greg Ramey is a pediatric psychologist at Children's Medical Center. He urges parents to control how much wrestling children watch.
It isn't that any single episode of wrestling or TV will lead a child to act in a certain way, but there is a coarseness, there is a brutality about this that over time, of course, will affect anyone who watches it.
Powerhouse Championship wrestlers dispute Ramey's claim, but they told us small children and teens who aren't trained should not get into the ring. When we asked Jason whether his parents know he does this, he said they do, but he also said they have argued about it. But Jason and the others believe they are old enough to decide if this is right for them.
The last time I checked, America was a free country.
You can boo whoever you want, you can cheer whoever you want, and that's wrestling for you. It's really the only fun thing you get to do anymore.
You know, people are going to look at you and go, you got a screw loose.
But they're also going to look at you and be like, that guy's rough, and he's the real deal.
Now, after watching that story, some obvious questions probably come to mind. They certainly did for me. First of all, is this illegal? No, it's not. Where were the adults? Well, remember, a couple of the wrestlers are 18 and older. We also saw a security officer, but that was all. Now, as for the gym owner, he rents space out to all kinds of groups that do karate and boxing. Finally, was there anyone giving medical attention? Well, again, the answer is no, and no one had bandages, ice, or first aid kits, at least that we saw.
That is so disturbing. I have to ask, do they have any training, perhaps like in the way that they fall or anything like that?
Well, Jason, the one young man, said yes, they do, from pro wrestlers. That's what they claim.
What about any faking? Sometimes that does happen in the pros.
Sure, it's a common question with wrestling. I would say some of the flips, the body slams, even the punches are choreographed, but the blood that you saw on Shade and the others was real, and the strap marks on Beerman were real, and the bumps and the bruises on wrestlers and other matches, they were real as well.
And hopefully there will be no real long-term damage.
Parents need to know about this stuff.
They really do, Mark, and thanks for informing us.